8 teams remain in the IHSA football championships. We move into the upper echelons today, beginning with the Class 5A matchup between the Joliet Catholic Hilltoppers and the Montini Catholic Broncos. 4 games today, beginning with this one. We move 5A, 6A, 7A, all the way through to the 8A championship tonight here on NBC Sports Chicago. Glad to have you with us this morning, along with my partner, NBC Sports Chicago Preps Insider, Edgy Tim O'Halloran. I'm Patrick Reed. Edgy, this one features a Joliet Catholic team that has a lot of tradition, 13 state titles, and a Montini team with 4 since 2010.
Well, Patrick, it is. It's a Joliet Catholic team that, honestly, if you ask the locals, and I happen to know a few of them, they really didn't expect much out of this Joliet Catholic team, but they have gone on an absolute roll in the postseason. And Montini, I think most people expected Montini to be here, and Patrick, they have not let down. They are here in the state title game.
They've arrived on what so far is a dry day in Champaign. Let's send it upstairs to the guys in the booth who will bring you the soundtrack of the game. Nathan Believa and Mark Lindo.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Tim. And here we are upstairs ready to go. And Mark, if you like offense, this is the game for you. These teams have done this before in the state title game. 115 points the last time they met in the state title game. We might not hit that, but we're going to get a lot of offense.
Should be a fun one. These two teams combined for 74 points per game. They know their way to the end zone. Will special teams or a defensive stop, what'll it come down to? We'll find out.
We got a couple of special running backs. Let's take a look at those key players today, and we'll start off with Montini's Nick Ferdonzo, who's coming right here next year.
An all-stater, a tackle breaker, a game changer. Those numbers speak for themselves. A whopping 7.6 yards per carry. He's got breakaway speed, 1090 in a 100-meter run.
On the other side, for JCA, it's Kenan Haley. He's had some special games this season.
Well, you know what? Another all-stater. He's coming off a recent 318-yard, 5-touchdown performance. His head coach, Jake Jaworski, has one word to describe him: special. We're going to see a couple special running backs and 2 special teams vying for a title here this morning.
The 3rd time they've met in the state title game in the last decade. The Broncos and the Hilltoppers ready to go today. The fans are out. They're ready to make some noise at Memorial Stadium. Back with more after this.
The sun is peeking through the crowds here in Champaign, Illinois Memorial Stadium as we are about set for the Class 5A championship. Montini Catholic is 11-1. Joliet Catholic 9-4, looking for a state title. Edgy Tim, if Montini Catholic wants to get that crown, they were a first-round exit last year in the playoffs. What do they have to do today?
You got to follow Haley's comment, of course, talking about Kenan Haley. I don't care where he goes if I'm Montini. If he goes to the sideline, I'm following him. If he goes to the bathroom, I'm following him. Do not let Kenan Haley beat you. That is their key in this ballgame.
For Joliet, it's been quite a turnaround to get to this point from 4-4 to a state title game. What do they have to do
Well,
today?
led by that senior-led, dominated offensive line, you need to create a path. You need to get that running game going early. First series or 2 defensively, I think an absolute key for Joliet Catholic here as well.
4 trophies to be awarded today. We begin with the Class 5A. There's a look at it, the hardware, the matchup coming next, as Nathan and Mark have the call from upstairs from Champaign.
Welcome back to Memorial Stadium. We are ready to roll here in the 5A championship. We'll take a look at our weather. A lot better than it was last night. The rain is gone. The sun has moved in. We are still dealing with some wind, 21 miles an hour to the southwest, 48 degrees though, and we should get over 50 here at some point today, Mark. Much better than last night in the driving rainstorm for the 4A game.
Rain, cold, wet, miserable today. It's going to get nicer as the day goes along, but you talked about the wind. It's blowing the ball off the tee twice, so delay of game on the wind right now, trying to get this 5A state championship going. You get to tee it up twice. On the 3rd time, by rule, you have to have somebody hold the football. So JCA doing just that as they get ready to try to start this game with Tony Trabold getting us going.
Ferdonzo and Olsen back on the kick for Montini, and we'll get a touchback to get us going. And the question for Montini, who starts at quarterback? We're about to find out because they're going to play 2 guys throughout the day.
Yeah, and they're both really good. Deonte Bell, a 5'11 junior, and Robert Brazil, a sophomore. They both have their own roles. Bell, a little more of a dual threat. Brazil, maybe a better passer. And we'll definitely see them both kind of nice to have a junior and a sophomore in the same game leading you to state title. A lot to build around next year.
They both are out there with the coaches. 7 Brazil goes back to the sideline. Bell, number 11, gets the start. There you see his numbers. 783 on the ground for Bell this year. And he's going to keep it on the very first play. A lot of yardage to the left. And a nice 20-yard pickup for Bell to get it rolling.
Well, 9 touchdowns of the year, 7.7 average. That was, they went spread offense. They put their all-stater Fidonzo in motion, a little bit of jet sweep action, zone read. He decided to keep it himself as a defensive end crashed down, and a nice first down pickup. Montini in business with their offensive ground game.
Both teams know they have to tackle well today with all these game breakers that are out on the field, and it did not work for the Hilltoppers on that first play.
Deonte Bell coming off a semifinal game where he rushed 12 times for $112. He's explosive, he's dynamic, and he can create even when things break down with his feet.
He's going to keep it again, left side this time. We'll take a look at those guys up front that are blocking for him after the 6-yard pickup for Bell. You see Miller, Baker, Constantine, McNicholas, and Banks Wall. That's their offensive line. Olson, Ross, West, and Merce with the 4 wide receivers. We've talked already about Fidonzo, who's coming here to Champaign for his college career next year. In motion is Olson. He'll get it on the jet sweep. Right side and nowhere to go. JCA gets the stop right there. Fernando Chavez, he's the middle linebacker. Let's take a look at the Hilltoppers defense. Chavez has called the defense for 3 years. O'Connell, Lally, Gorski, and Fozen are the front line. Briscoe and Bueno in there with Chavez, with Mundo Meyer, Kurt Wise, Matt Yankee, and Jabril Williams, the back end. A couple of all-staters in that mix for them, and Fozen, 7 sacks in the postseason. He's been a game record. 5
interceptions last week in the semifinal for the Hilltopper defense.
3rd and 1, and that big offensive line for Montini will push the pile and make sure that Bell gets it on the first down. We take a look at Montini's head coach, Mike Bukovsky. His 2nd year as a head coach at Montini, but he's been there for the better part of 3 decades, 34 years as an assistant, 30 years as a defensive coordinator, 2nd year head coach, 18-5. He's an alum, and he's everything Montini.
Yes, he is. Multi-sport guy himself. I know we'll touch on that later. He said it's a dream for him to be at his alma mater.
Handoff Fidonzo, his first touch. He'll get across the 40. Keeping those legs moving. He broke a tackle.
8 yards on that one. He's got really good stamina. He is great balance, great vision. Look at his low center of gravity. Just a great individual run. First down, 8-yard pickup. You're in business from an offensive coordinator standpoint.
The spread offense for Montini. They average 215 on the ground. They'll keep it there. Bell running, and he'll get another first down. They just keep those chains moving.
Montini, offensive coordinator, is indeed Brian Casey, who's former head coach at Aurora Central Catholic. They'll throw multiple looks at you, Nathan. They'll spread it. They'll go tight end. They'll go 2-back. They'll do a lot of zone read, a lot of different things for the quarterback of the defense, Kurt Weiss. He's the one that makes the calls back there, the All-Stater.
Bell's going to put it in the air for the first time, and high, incomplete. As he was looking for Scott West. Assuming that's Matt Ross, but incomplete either way.
Joe Bueno right there on the defense as Joliet Catholic have double coverage. Bell probably ill-advised throw.
Scott Fozen was in the backfield quickly. 4 sacks and 1 game already in the playoffs, 7 total in the postseason. Coach Jaworski telling us that he's been in the backfield quite a bit over the last month, and a big key to why they've gotten to Champaign. Here's Fidonzo, left side, lot of room, running towards the end zone, 34 yards, touchdown Fidonzo.
Well, he got 1 block on the perimeter, planted his left foot when he saw a would-be defender coming at him, and then it was KD bar the door, jet sweep, nice seal block on the inside. Kudos for sure once again to Jeremiah Bankswall, his second pancake block of the day. Really held his man off with a seal. And when Fidonzo has any kind of space, he's special.
17th touchdown of the season for Fidonzo. The extra point by Scott West will make it 7-0. The Broncos strike first in this 5A state title game. Nick Fidonzo to the left side. He's hoping to head into this end zone quite a bit as a college athlete. He's done it in high school. Touchdown Broncos. An 8-play, 80-yard drive took 2:57. The Broncos on top 7-0 as Coach Bukowski ready to watch his team kick it away in the Montini School from DuPage County. And Lombard, the enrollment with the multiplier 1,047. Out of Chicago Catholic, they moved into the blue division of the Chicago Catholic this year, and the much tougher division, a huge step up. And both teams played a massive schedule, but Montini, as they made the drive down 57, now ready to kick it off. We know, Mark, that trophy's headed back up 57 when this game's over. Just will it stop at Joliet or keep on going to get on 355 towards Lombard? They're ready for the kickoff. The 6-time state champion Broncos and the 13-time state champion Hilltoppers. Kick into the wind is grabbed at the 15 and not able to get moving at all on that return. Joliet Catholic ready to go. Jordan Alvarez. 791 passing yards for Alvarez. Just a couple of interceptions on the year. His brother Justin is in the backfield getting more playing time as a running back, but Jordan has been a big key and a great option quarterback for the Hilltoppers.
Both he and his brother transferred in from Joliet West. Nice additions to this Hilltopper program. He can make some plays, more of a game manager. His job is to run this offense for JCA.
Handoff goes right up the middle. Anatone, and he'll move the pile, get out to the 30. Anatone getting it rolling 13. You see Kenan Haley and Nick Anatone. We're going to call their numbers quite a bit. Mack will be the other running back. Isiah Murphy's on the wing. Frisco, Cox, Ojenevak, Lawley, Kovas, and Mono. And there are a couple of big-time offensive linemen on this roster for Joliet Catholic. And the pile will swallow him up there for a 3-yard pickup. On Montini's defensive side, they've got a tall task today to slow down this offense. Stokes, Peters, Richardson, and Conforti on the line with Swire, Bruscinelli, and Harris in the middle. West, Bufkin, Wilkovich, and Harris are the defensive backs, and they're going to have to tackle out of that secondary quite a bit today.
No doubt, this is a powerful, punishing running game. They'll run out of the wing T, they'll run out of some I, but everything's power football, counters and bucks.
Getting into the second layer immediately for the Hilltoppers is Anatone again, another 13-yard carry.
Anatone going with chunk plays. He had 12 on his first touch, 13 here. Everybody just down blocking, got a good seal on the inside. Anatone with a good read, but a great push by the offensive line. This team has just been running the football at will the last few weeks as they made this playoff push.
149 yards against Metamora, 208 and 3 scores against Highland in the postseason for Anatone, who's also a great baseball player. And Haley swallowed up, trying the right side for the Hilltoppers.
But we saw that Montini.
Haley limping back to the huddle.
So that Montini juggernaut of an offense. So you can look at Jake Jaworski, 12 and 10. You know, he had to have guide his team to beat Notre Dame the last game of the regular season just to make these playoffs. Once they made it, they felt really confident they could make a run, and they have.
A safety and a captain on the 2000 and 2001 title teams, putting a defensive player of the game selection. Haley was limping back to the huddle after that last carry. He's going to get swallowed up just shy of the 45. We'll have to keep an eye on Haley. He's walking back slow again.
He's a great combination of power and speed. He gets yards after contact, makes great jump cuts, makes you miss. And yes, jump cuts, you can indeed work on that. It's about agility. Agility means the ability to change directions quickly. Kenan Haley is all about that. We'll have to continue to watch his gait to see how his limp is. Very pronounced right now.
He's going to get it again, and he'll pick up the first down in the postseason. He's carried it 91 times for 859 yards and 12 scores. That's a workhorse.
He's much quicker than he was. He lost over 10 pounds in the summer. You live in the weight room. You put on strength. Muscle weighs more than fat. There's no doubt about that. But he's quicker. He's more agile. And he really has breakaway speed now.
He's going to get it again. Right side. For a couple. 5-yard pickup.
Isiah Ojanovic, the big tackle on the right side, number 76. Boy, did he lead a nice hole right there. And I'm sure that's been something Kenan Haley's done about 100-something times. Follow Ojanovic into some open spread. Watch number 76, a nice point of attack right there. And he gets a nice chip.
Ojanovic headed to Cornell. Dave Mono, number 59, on the other side of that line, headed to Purdue. Haley to the sticks. Looks like another first down for the Hilltoppers. A carry of 5.
Mono had no choice but to be a lineman. His dad played college football at the Ohio State University, and he follows in Dad's footsteps with a Big Ten scholarship.
First and 10.
Hey, we were spot on the open, huh? Talking about offense. Montini answered, and now Joliet Catholic just down there being Joliet Catholic, punishing, chunking 8-10, 8-6.
First man through, gets it. It's Iannatone headed to the left side and wrapped up at the 15. Another first down carry for Nick Iannatone. C.J. Buffkin was the last man standing to stop him.
Little buck play, 18 yards on that inside handoff, and he is so strong and powerful. Drags a couple people with him after the initial contact at the line of scrimmage.
Jamari Harris, who has a bunch of FCS offers, was holding on for dear life there, which slowed him down enough for Buffkin to wrap him up. It's Iannatone again, up the middle, looking for the end zone, and he is just short. 13-yard carry again, and every touch that Iannatone has had is gone for 10+.
Well, he is right now in really good rhythm with his offensive line. 14 touchdowns on the season, and he was just a yard short right here, hitting Pater. But watch the effort after the hit, 2-3 yards after the hit to get this ball deep in the red zone.
We get our first flag of the game, and it's going to go.
Ball starts, number 59, first down.
To move the Hilltoppers back, we take a look at our official. You saw Chris Head there, the referee out of Chicago, with Yvonne Palomore as the linesman, Andre Golston, Lerone Miles, and Michael Outen. Congrats to those gentlemen for getting to call the 5A state championship game. All of them from the Chicago area.
Jordan Alvarez going over to the sideline to give his play.
They're at the 6 now after the infraction. Left side and into the end zone for the touchdown. Haley's going to limp back to the sideline, but he's got the answer. His 33rd touchdown of the season.
And you know, the amazing thing is he's so gutsy. He's never missed a practice rep all year long. That's what's amazing. He might miss a rep here in this game, but again, just an outstanding block at the point of attack. And who'd he follow? None other than Connor Kovis right there into the end zone for that touchdown. Great block.
11 plays, 83 yards, covered 453. The Hilltoppers get the answer. We'll keep an eye on number 27, Kenan Haley. He's into the end zone, and this game is tied at 7 in Champaign. 7-7 here in Champaign as you see the Hilltoppers staff working on Kenan Haley. He went to the sideline. We've got more downstairs. Patrick Reed. Patrick?
Thanks, guys. So often to get to this level, it's about tradition. It's about those who came before you who set the tone. And for Mundo Meyer, it's about his father, Dr. Ray Meyer, who played on the 1981 JCA championship team. And Dr. Ray has been with this program in some form since 1978, winning that title, going on to play college football at Iowa, and today joins his son as he gets an opportunity to do it. And there he is. He's been a water boy in this program ever since a young age. And when I talked to Dr. Meyer before the game, he said, yeah, I'm a little nervous about that, but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself thinking about what could be if it is a championship and maybe jinx it. But he recognizes that if it does happen today, it's because of the hard work put in by these players and the staff to get here. It would be a rewarding moment. He is a proud father of his son, who is becoming quite a defensive back at this level. And there he is. Young Mundo Meyer, who's been a water boy in the program coming up, and now a standout on the field for JCA.
Great story. It is all about tradition. Mundo Meyer had 2 interceptions in the semifinal game. 2 of 5 that the Hilltoppers had in their victory over Hillcrest, 42-6.
You saw in that picture he was standing next to number 32, Ty Isaac, who went for over 500 yards, a state record in 2011, right here against Montini in that state title game. Here's Fidanzo going the other way, left side, and forced out of bounds. Haley can actually pass Isaac on the running list. Needs about 120 yards in this game to pass Isaac for what he was able to do in a single season after that big carry by Fidanzo for 14.
Yeah, you talk about big plays. Montini, counting that play, averaging almost 12 yards per touch. Joliet Catholic about 8.5. Both offenses high octane.
Try the right side this time. Olsen will get dragged down. Tackle by Kurt Weiss.
Kurt Weiss, the All-Stater, came up with support. He had an interception in the semis as well. He thought once they beat Notre Dame, they had a chance. Kurt, nice player in his own right. 5'10", 175, a senior, 30 ACT on the board. So he's has as much prowess in the classroom as he does on the football field.
Good news for the Hilltoppers. Haley's off the bench. He's jogging on the sidelines right now. They throw it out to the left side. Ball in the hands of Fidanzo, and another nice tackle by Chavez. First pass completion for either team.
Fidanzo, they've gone with him on the outside zone, the jet. This time they want to get speed in space. He's a 10-9 burner. Got the ball out on a little tunnel screen. JCA, mostly a cover 2 team, 2 deep corners, 2 deep safeties right there in position to make a good stop.
3rd and 3, they converted a 3rd down on the last drive. Keeper, and Bell's going to go nowhere. That's Fernando Chavez again.
Loss of 1 on that. Chavez with a great solo tackle. Going to come into your screen. Watch his eyes to the football. Great defenders have great eyes. You follow the football, you read your keys, you stay in position. Chavez, not so sure maybe if he was spying that time. One-on-one against the quarterback. Great solo tackle in space.
6'1" senior has called the defense since he was a sophomore. Fosen took out the running back. He took the quarterback. Broncos with a short punt into the wind. They do get a very fortunate bounce, though, and it'll go inside the 25. So we got our first hold of the day, a 36-yard punt, no return.
Yeah, 3 and outs. They did earn 1 first down, but they get the force the punt right there. Nice job by Joliet Catholic stopping that 3rd down play.
Joliet Catholic ready to start their 2nd possession from Will County out of Joliet, with their enrollment with the multiplier just over 1,000 out of the East Suburban Catholic Conference, and former head coach Dan Sharp, their athletic director.
Won 6 titles of his own, did Dan Sharp, before giving up the coaching reins a couple of years ago to Jake Jaworski, who he knew he had the program in good hands.
6-yard carry for Iannato. Finished about 20 wins behind Gordy Gillespie in overall wins, but he won one more state title than the legendary Coach Gillespie.
Coach Gillespie won 5, Jim Boyder 1, Bob Stone 1, Dan Sharp 6, Jake Jaworski to be determined.
Haley back on the field. It's Iannato up the middle. How about this, Mark? Gillespie took over in the 59-60 school year. So every coach they've had since 1959 has won a state title if Jaworski wins today.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. That just reeks tradition. Gordy Gillespie, the legendary football, baseball coach, one of the greatest coaches of all time in Illinois, laid the foundation for everything that is Joliet Catholic football.
The Hilltoppers got a 3rd down stop, and the Broncos do the same. 3rd and 2.
8 in the box.
It's Haley. They wrap him up and do indeed get the stop. Buffkin throws him down for a loss of 2.
Great penetration. 8 in the box. They came with an inside blitz. Buffkin is a beneficiary of the big-time play as they guessed run. And when linebackers are guessing run, you dial up a inside blitz. They did exactly that.
Plainfield Central transfer, a junior, C.J. Buffkin. Now punting with the wind. Traybold, the big boot, and that's going to take a roll inside the 10, and it'll roll dead at the 7, a 63-yard boot with some help with the wind for Tony Traybold.
Well, you talk about offense, defense. Now we're going to talk special teams because that is a field flipper, that punt right there. So the JCA is not able to move the sticks, but you see that punt just has turned the field to just 7-yard line. He gets a boomer, plenty of time, and then he gets a fortuitous roll. But he gets a lot of hang time in the air anyway. And then watch, hits by the 22, rolls, and rolls some more.
His previous long on the season was a 62. You see the flags are blowing in the wind. Fidonzo, is he off to the races? Almost. Tripped up. A 21-yard carry. Jabril Williams stopped a 93-yard touchdown.
Yeah, we've already sung the praise of his 100-yard dash time, and he would have been able to exhibit it right there. Touchdown-saving tackle.
77-yard first quarter for the Illinois commit, Nick Fidonzo. And after 1 quarter, we're all even. The Hilltoppers and the Broncos tied at 7 in Champaign. (7-7) here in Champaign as we start the second quarter with Montini ball. And let's head downstairs to Edgy Tim. He's got Dan Sharp alongside on the Joliet Catholic sideline.
Yeah, guys, just happened to run into my friend Dan Sharp here. Dan, busy week, obviously, but just a feeling being former head coach and now athletic director on a sidelines for a state title game. Your feelings?
Well, it's a great feeling. I'm very proud of Jake Jaworski and what his staff has done, and these guys. They were all sophomores when I last coached them, and so I'm very proud of the senior group. It's just great to see all the Hilltopper fans down here, and like when I ran into the Montini people, I was saying, like, we got to stop meeting like this. It seems like every time we're down here, we run into Montini. But it's been a great week, great excitement at the school, and I'm so proud of the way these coaches are running the program.
Did you miss the headset just a little bit?
I do. There's a lot of things you miss, but I'm more like a proud papa now. You know, Jake's like one of my own back when he played for me back in 2000 and 2001. So it's a whole different set of emotions. But I was glad I made the decision. I'm glad I made the decision to put Jake there. And we're excited to be back.
All right, guys, back to you.
Deonte Bell's going to the house. 73 yards. And Montini's back in front. Bell got to the right side, and he finds the end zone for the 10th time on the ground this season.
Well, he went into summer as a 4-quarterback competition, and I think he's kind of stood out. He's going to have a hard time letting Brazil get on the field, although it will happen. A little bit of quarterback draw right there, quarterback power. That was a designed run, and why not when you have the kind of athleticism Deonte Bell has. with the big guys up front, you have an extra blocker. Well-designed offensive scheme.
26-second drive, 3 plays, 93 yards. So much for being pinned back inside the 10 as they quickly turn it into 7. It's Montini back in front. We'll see if the Hilltoppers have an answer. Bell all the way down the sideline. Put Montini on top, 14-7. The coaches upstairs, they love it. Montini on top, 14-7 on a nice sunny day in November here in Champaign. And Deonte Bell, 73 yards. Not his longest run of the year, but one he'll remember.
Yeah, he took one jab, step to the left, tried to maybe make a linebacker flow the opposite direction. Then Iannatone with a key block right at the point of attack. And Deonte Bell then gets the ball to the house. He might as well join the party. Iannatone had 7 carries, 68 yards. Deonte Bell with that one to the house.
Including with the win. That'll go into the end zone for the touchback. Joliet Catholic will start at the 20 as they look to answer.
So you talk about running game. Fidonzo, 4 carries, 76 yards. Iannatone, I just mentioned, 7 for 68. And now Deonte Bell throws in a 70-yarder of his own. They're going to have about 3 or 4 guys in this game over 100 yards rushing when it's all said and done. But that's nothing new for the likes of Joliet Catholic starting this drive, because they're come into this football game averaging about 355 on the ground and over 400 on the ground in just playoff action.
They will keep it on the ground, trying to squirt through the right side. Very limited gain that time for Haley. Second and 8.
Haley 5'9", 185. Runs to a really low pad level. And again, when he gets to the second level, enough speed, enough dynamite in his wheels to bust a big play. He can get a home run and touch.
Justin Alvarez went in motion that time. Jordan Alvarez will keep it.
Now, some people might say that was sleight of hand. That was a busted play. He wanted to get that ball in the hands of his playmaker, Kenan Haley. So a little bit, it was supposed to be a counter. See the confusion?
He ran into Iannatone. Yeah. They collided in the back, Haley and Iannatone, and nowhere for Alvarez to hand off.
So a good play by Alvarez insofar as, having ball security and taking care of the ball when a play busted.
3rd and 6. They did not convert the last 3rd down, had to punt it away. They'll punt this time, it'll be into the wind. Gonna put it in the air. First time today, that is complete out near the 40. Brother to brother. Jordan to Justin for 15.
It's a well-thrown ball, and Jordan plenty of time on a little bit of play action roll. He rolls to his left. There's the play fake. There's the roll. Look at his eyes stay downfield and getting in front of the safety right there. Little brother makes a big-time catch.
How many times have they done that in the backyard?
Yeah, about 100 Sandlot football right there.
Just shy of the 40 with the 3rd down conversion. Justin's run the ball 10 times in the playoffs. Did not have a playoff reception on the sheet before that one. Now the handoff will go back to Haley, and he's wrapped up.
A lot of counter action on the interior line for Joliet Catholic, but Montini's front 7 really reading their keys well. The scheme against Joliet Catholic has been solid thus far.
2nd and 7. Alvarez back in with the play call. And you see on the front of that Montini defense, Fred Stokes for the 32, 92 tackles this year, 11 for a loss. Haley will get across the 45 and not much else. Brought down by Jackson Ruscinelli.
Ruscinelli an all-stater. Gain of 4, so 3rd down and manageable. But, great linebackers. They read the play. They react to the play, and they wrap up. Ruscinelli did just that. Read, react, and wrap up. Scrape them from side to side. When you have lateral movement, you're a special linebacker.
He's trying to go 3 for 3 against Joliet Catholic for the Bruscinelli family. His brother Franklin was on the 09 and 11 teams. Now lives in Paris, but is home for Thanksgiving. And is here. Get that across the 50, and Jack coach as well. 6-yard pickup, and again, Haley was limping back towards the huddle after blocking on that Iannatone run.
Iannatone just so strong when he runs a football. A great combination of his strong physical type of running and the speed, dynamic, make-you-miss kind of running of Haley. What a nice 1-2 combination in differing running styles.
First down across the 50 for the Hilltoppers. Here's Haley trying to break one. Gets across the 40 towards the 35. 12-yard pickup.
Scott West, the safety at the backside of this. Nice tackle. The bad news is he's been in on 2 of the last 3 tackles, which means Joliet Catholic's not getting to the just initial level, not to the second level, but getting to West to the 3rd level of that Bronco defense.
Haley gets 2, he gets 3, he gets 2, and then 12. So we've seen out of this offense. Iannatone up the middle. And that ball is out, and the Broncos claim they have it. They do. Turnover number 1 on the afternoon.
C.J. Buffkin with the recovery. Comes out of that pile with the ball in his hand. And that was a stellar drive, but a big hit on the inside. Buffkin follows the football. Little counterplay on the inside.
Bruscinelli.
Yeah, but Bruscinelli has been singing his praises. The linebacker makes another play with a fumble cause.
He recovered a fumble against Sterling in the semifinals. He forces one. He was a conference co-defensive player of the year.
3-year starter, the team's leading tackler.
Montini with the run. The left side for Fidanzo for 2.
Both these teams so creative in their misdirection. They'll lead one way, cut back against the other. A lot of counters, a lot of jets, a lot of movement.
2 wide receivers to the left this time. Bell turns around, hands it to Fidanzo up the middle, close to the 50. Making guys miss right through the middle for 13.
Kurt Weiss with maybe a touchdown-saving tackle as Fidanzo. Look at the 360 spin. Nice seal, great blocking up front. And then a good solo tackle. 203 yards of rushing. A punishing ground attack for Montini.
4 wide receivers on the 1st and 10, just shy of the midfield. Olsen goes in motion. Pass down the middle, wide open. Scott West down inside the 15 on a completion for Bell.
Great ball fake on the play action pass. 41 yards on that big time catch. West was wide open at the 2nd level.
He is hurt on the sideline now. We've seen Haley down on one side, and now it's West on the other.
See, they fake the jet, little run pass option. He sees West streaking down the sideline, gets behind the defensive back, Matt Yankee.
They snuck Robert Brazil on us as well. He had that completion. Now he hands to Fidanzo, who's into the end zone for the 2nd time today. 12-yard run. West back in. Fidanzo back into the end zone. And Montini with a 2-possession lead.
And how cool is it that you have a quarterback that's really playing well, Deonte Bell. Instead, you go with the same system that brought you there, a 2-quarterback system. They put Brazil in, and all he does is lead his team to a touchdown on that drive. And when you have Fidanzo carrying the football, that doesn't hurt at all.
Well, they mixed it on the drive. It was Bell the first few plays. It was Brazil the last 2. The kick by West. who was down injured, had to come back on to kick the extra point and cap a 5-play, 68-yard drive over 117. And the Broncos have taken a 14-point lead. Fidanzo heading into the end zone. He's got one at both ends of the field so far today. It's been a big Saturday morning for Nick Fidanzo, the Montini Broncos. 7 carries, 103 yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns, closing in on 1,500 rushing yards on the season.
And his ball club, with his leadership, is averaging 13.7 yards per play right now. They're in full gear. Joliet Catholic averages 6.5. That's pretty good, but doubling up on that is the Broncos in their 2-quarterback system. Mixed in just a couple play-action passes. They've gone to the perimeter with their running game. They've gone to the inside zone. They have really been diverse in their play calling.
Scott West got the ball to stay on the tee on his second try and kicks it into the end zone. They're going to bring it out and end up well short of the 20. On that return. It's a tough field position for the Hilltoppers as Yankee caught it right at the goal line, and now the officials are chatting. Did it go into the goal or into the end zone?
High school rule.
It's a touchback.
And it did.
Yep. So it was all about where his feet were at. The ball was in the end zone, and the ball will come out to the 20.
Yankee, I think, was afraid he caught it on the 1 and went back into the end zone. So he brought it out, but there you go. You can see it.
Well, you got two plays there. One, Yankee probably made the right play if he thought he could advance it at that point and make a play, and the officials get together and get it right, as the ball can't be advanced where the ball was taken back and comes from the end zone. It comes out to the 20.
Reset the game clock to 6:56.
The other change to add 6 seconds is, see the Bronco having some fun. He's got the sunglasses on. You need them today.
He's got the shades out.
Sun is shining here in Champaign. Carry up the middle for Haley. Did he put it on the turf? Second down. Fell back on top of it. Janovac was there to help.
And every effort he makes right now is a yeoman's effort. You see him hobbling off the field. Little inside counter right there. The ball gets punched out.
He ran into mono and the ball fell to the ground. He fell on top of it, but he is hurt again.
Definite storyline in this game when you have an all-stater go to the sideline, your team trailing by a couple touchdowns. And Joliet Catholic is not a team that is designed to play comeback football with their ground game.
And they're going to take a timeout on the sideline too and make sure they've got things situated. It's a big drive for them, down 14 and looking for an answer.
So Haley's on the boundary getting checked out right now. Has 12 carries, 50 yards, and a touchdown after a 318-yard semifinal game last week.
You can watch former Bears coach Dave Wannstedt break down the X's and O's of the Bears-Lions game. Don't miss Touchdowns and Takeaways, presented by Ankin Law, Monday at 5:30 on NBC Sports Chicago. Out of the timeout, the Hilltoppers heading back onto the field without Haley, who's on the bench. So Iannatone, number 45, Max Briscoe, lining up as a tight end, and it's Iannatone who gets the carry. for 3.
So it's going to fall in the hands right now like it always does with that offensive line. 3-year starter Colin Cox, 3-year starter Tayo Janovic. He's going to Cornell, as you mentioned, Rylan Lawley. His dad Alex, a grad of JCA, Connor Kovis, and Dave Mono. These guys have to do even a better job right now because they really can't get Kenan Haley to make a big play.
It's Iannatone left side. He'll make the big play to the sidelines. And they tripped him up just at the 30.
So another explosive from the running game. Iannatone, Katie bar the door. We got to the outside. He gets his shoulder square. Good lead block on the outside. Who else but number 79, Kovis, and number 44, Perez, with 2 nice blocks. And then Iannatone does the rest of the speed to the 2 to 40 yards.
Flipping the field on 1 carry. Iannatone's had some big plays already in this game. He'll get it again. Left side. Gets around to the first wave and then knocked out of bounds right at the 20.
So the biggest switch that you'll see on your screen is Iannatone was playing in a wing. Now he's playing at a back. He's dotting the I. With Haley out, he's going to be the workman, so he knows both positions, and he is very schooled at both positions. See a young man walking back to your screen. He's going to be leaning over like that a lot in the second half. He's going to be tired because he's going to get more carries than usual as this game wears on if Haley can't come back in.
17 carries for 208 and 3 touchdowns in the playoff win over Highland. And this time he's going to go nowhere, and it's Bufkin again. Number 3, he wrapped him up and was punching at the ball before progress had stopped before the ball was jarred loose.
Yeah, Montini with 21-7 lead, but look, Joliet Catholic 49 against Metamora, 49 against Marion, 52 against Highland, 42 against Hillcrest. They can score some points.
You could hear the whistle right before that ball came out very clearly, and Iannatone again left side this time. Bufkin was punching at the ball loose, and Swire ended up picking it up, but every whistle down there had blown before that happened, and a 7-yard carry.
14 carries, $143 rushing right now, and we mentioned it. This is his drive. I mean, here's the keys. Get behind the wheel and drive us home right now.
They are still working on the leg of Haley over on the bench. It looks like 3 doctors over there with him, and it's Iannatone taking his place and getting inside the 10 to move the chains and set up 1st and goal.
You know, Joliet Catholic right there with that formation, double tight end with the wing, only a single back. They're saying, here's who we are. We're going to run the football 3rd and short. We're not going to have any foolishness here. We're just going to play power football. Stop us if you can. And that young man knows where the chains were at and moves them.
Alvarez jogging back in with the play. You see Coach Jaworski and his staff, they've made the adjustment on this drive, as Mark alluded to. Iannatone. Julian Perez in the backfield to block for him, and he gets the carry to get down inside the 5 with the 5-yard pickup. Perez 3 carries in the postseason for 13 yards, and next man up.
Yeah, and that's a situation right there where it's Iannatone. And so the key there, the eyes there, the flow there. So you go a little bit of inside handoff to Perez, and he shows a little bit of bulldog in him with a low leg drive, getting the ball inside the 5 down to the 3.
Hey, west, south.
2nd and goal. Iannatone into the end zone. 3-yard run. The Hilltoppers get it back to a 1-score game.
Well, my, oh my, what a great block it was by Julian Perez, 5'9", 210. He carried the ball in the previous play, and this time he has a crushing block for his teammate. Watch 44, the lead fullback, right there, pointing attack, kaboom. And look at the cut to the inside. Iannatone knows where the orange is at.
Whistles on the extra point here.
Dead ball. Approachment. Defense. Number 1.
9-play, 80-yard drive that covered 3 minutes and 40 seconds, and a big answer, especially with Haley going to the bench.
You know, you got an all-stater. He goes out, that's the bad news, and then you have Anatone coming in like an all-stater. I mean, just great depth in that position.
Politano will put the hold down here. The kick after the penalty is right through the uprights by Tony Trable. He's made 55 extra points on the season, and JCA gets it back to a 7-point game.
Hey, rushing yards, Montini, 215. And Joliet Catholic, 207.
Loaf of bread, Anatone.
Carrying it all.
Gonna make some sandwiches on the sidelines.
He deserves one for that drive. So, you know, if you and I, Nathan, ran 422 yards at this point, we'd need oxygen. And these teams are just starting to light it up right now.
I need a car.
Well, you said he just drove the car that time. Good picture of that young man who found the end zone. 16
carries for $150. Touchdown number 15 on the season. It's his 7th in their playoff run.
Just signed a scholarship to play junior college baseball, left-handed hitter. So special athlete that he is. And you know what? I have not seen him swing the bat, but if you're left-handed, you're athletic like him, and I've seen him run. He's got a bright future.
He just saw himself on the video board here, and then couldn't stop smiling and then looking up again. Short kick into the wind, picked up at the 20. Olsen is swarmed under, and they'll start at the 33. A 15-yard run back for Zach Olsen.
Olsen is a threat every time he catches the ball as a return man. He had a 92-yard touchdown return against Sycamore. He had a punt return earlier. He's a jack of all trades. He can really do it all. Offense, defense, and special teams. Fast twitch muscle guy that can explode in the open field.
And a big step up for them because teams stopped kicking to Fidanzo pretty quick. He had a 99-yard touchdown against Loyola on the return, and teams were like, all right, well, we're not kicking to that guy. And Olsen stepped up as the second guy back there. Bell gets spun around, and that play is going to go nowhere to Fidanzo. One of them went the wrong way, and a loss of 1.
Dorsey from the backside, yeah, with a nice play, using his speed from the edge. They brought a corner, crashing down from the backside as well to slow that play down.
Inside, heel, Mac, heel. Got heel. Got heel.
2nd and 11. Keeper. Going nowhere. 4 Hilltoppers there to make the tackle. A 3-yard loss, and Mundo Meyer, number 29, came over the top, and Bell is slow to get up.
And what's happened the last 2 plays for JCA, Joliet Catholic's defense, their DC, defense coordinator Mark Mattelli, has really rolled the dice. You see, watch all the backers come here. They bring 7 to the inside. Inside blitz, guess and run. They guess correctly. And look at 1, 2, 3, 4 hats. That's defensive domination.
Bell cannot get off the field on his own. He's got to be carried off here. Oh, boy. We've seen it on both sides now. Fidanzo and McNicholas were carrying him. And the trainer said, hey, why don't you put him down? Haley on the other side is sitting on the bench. They had been working on his ankle, had the shoe off. The doctors are no longer with him. As you see, Bell, 7 carries, 104. This 73-yard touchdown run. But he was hurt on that play, and here's Haley on the sideline now. His helmet under the bench and his shoe off on the left foot.
So a star on each side sitting on the boundary. All they can do at this point is cheer on their teammate. Brazil in a would-be passing situation. See if they roll the pocket here.
3rd and 13. He has completed one pass. Robert Brazil. He's going to go down the right side. He's got a man, and he's got it complete. Inside the 30 on the completion to Nate Mursh.
Mursh, their leading receiver. That's his 30th catch. 471 yards coming in. He had 2 touchdowns in the semifinal. He got behind the defense there. That ball was upstairs an awful long time. Mursh waiting. Look at Brazil's eyes downfield. He lets it fly. And look at the separation.
43 yards later, they're down to the 28. Brazil hands off. We've got a penalty flag. Fernando gets stretched out and run out of bounds, so a flag here. Thrown by the referee in the backfield.
Holding. Offense.
So holding will move Montini back. Here's another look at that 43-yard pass.
Well, just a straight go route. And it must have been a breakdown in coverage. You're maybe guessing a safety help over the top. It wasn't there. And then Brazil, he lets it fly, watches it, comes in. That's his first pass after coming for Bell. And he just goes and congratulates his teammates. Look at how mature that young man is. He's been there before. He's done that. He knows what he's doing on the football field. He's wise beyond his years.
Came into the game with 864 passing yards, 14 touchdowns, putting 2 in the semifinal against Sterling. He'll run here, getting the penalty yardage back and a couple more before ducking out of bounds.
See, that's when he's the most dangerous. He completed that 3rd down pass in the pocket, picks up 15 on this improvision. When they get him outside of the pocket, his eyes are downfield. You freeze the defensive backs, you freeze linebackers. When things break down, athleticism takes over. Athleticism steps up. There's a guy coming in calm, cool, collected in a relief role. But as we mentioned before, the 2-quarterback system has worked all year. This is not uncommon territory for the young sophomore.
Games this year where they switch quarterbacks, the same drive, play after play. Brazil broke his arm last year, 20 minutes into the season, a game against Phillips as a freshman. And this one will get stacked up in the backfield, and the clock will stop, -1 and on that carry, and Montini will call a timeout. Their first of the half with 36 seconds left. The 7-point lead, trying to punch it in again before halftime.
Yeah, this is normally Mursh time for them. Their leading receiver, he's maybe their best route runner. But again, I think you have plenty of time. Only 2 more bullets. They have to move the sticks first. You have time for 2 or 3 more plays. And you are most dangerous if you get Brazil out of the pocket.
We see Bell behind the bench. Deonte Bell, still with the helmet on, was getting looked at after limping off the field. Earlier on this drive, Bell, who completed a pass on the last drive before the Fernando touchdown run, completed the big 3rd down pass here. So there's Bell on the Montini side, and they've got crutches out for Kenan Haley. Last time we saw him, he was by himself. The doctors were gone, and they come back now with crutches, and look at that left ankle wrapped up. That does not look good for Haley's prospects the rest of the day, and here's where it happened.
On a cut, and he just gets his ankle underneath him on that fumble, and that's going to keep him on the boundary and probably out of action the rest of the afternoon.
Tough kid. He got hurt on the first carry of the game and toughed it out for a quarter and a half. Here's Brazil over the middle and a little bit off target this time. Intended for Fernando.
Just a straight slant route. Went straight to the post.
There's Haley on the crutches. A senior closing in on 2,600 yards. Scored his 33rd touchdown of the day earlier, or the season earlier today. Where's number 27 for his idol Eddie Lacy? He likes to run
timeout
like Lacy.
Montini.
Another timeout for Montini. But unfortunately for Haley, it looks like his day is done with the crutches on the sideline. Timeout Montini. They've got 1 left with 32 seconds. to go in the first half. When you're coming to Champaign for the state finals, an Illini game, or just to visit, there's only one place to stay, Champaign Suites, which in 2019 will soon become Holiday Inn. Located just 4 blocks from Memorial Stadium, Champaign Suites' clean, comfortable rooms are a welcome sight well away from home. Champaign Suites are fully equipped with a fitness center and indoor pool. Also coming in 2019, a restaurant and bar to make your stay even more enjoyable. Champaign Suites are the place to stay in Champaign.
Good time out here by the Broncos. They have 1 left with 32 seconds. They know they have to move the sticks to get 2 more bullets into their arsenal. They're going to go 2-by-2 set here.
Fourth and 8. They need the 18. Keep this drive going. Brazil overthrown and into the end zone. Receiver cut in along the goal line, was looking for a flag, and Brazil threw it over his head. Turnover on downs.
He gets this one off his back foot. He's got a man open on the break. A little bit of contact. Nothing there.
Ball was over and behind Mersch. Mono came in. Maybe he made Brazil throw that ball a split second before he wanted to, with Mono right in front of him. 27 seconds left. Iannatone up the middle for 9.
You might as well get him a couple more touches. Use the scoreboard clock that you have, because he can bust one from 60, 70 yards.
They are going to move the stick, so he got exactly to 10 on that. Clock stopped momentarily. It's rolling again now inside 15 seconds. And now Iannatone into the pile. And we're going to have a flag down, thrown.
5 seconds, you got.
A little late activity.
The line of scrimmage.
A little bit of late activity.
We have no flag on the play.
No flag.
Well, good job. I think they had one. They said, let's just get the half run out. Good officiating, actually.
That will run out the first half as the Hilltoppers are content to take it into the locker room, down 21-14, and they, down 7, will receive the ball to start the second half. The chance to get this game even. Both teams losing playmakers to injury in the first half. Bell, the quarterback for Montini. Haley, the running back for Joliet Catholic. There's Bell walking back towards the locker room. So that's a good sign as he chats with Brazil, who came in and replaced him. And the last we saw Haley, he was on crutches heading towards the locker room. So both coaches, there's Haley, will have some adjustments to make in the locker rooms here at halftime.
And you can see the anguish, not the physical anguish, but the emotional anguish in his eyes as he knows he's done with a chance to chase the prize. Montini, 314 yards of offense in half number 1. Joliet Catholic, 222. Over 540 yards of offense thus far between these two teams.
The Hilltoppers heading into the locker room. Haley on crutches. They're down 7. 21-14. Montini leads at half in Champaign.
All right, well, you wanted explosive plays. You wanted excitement. Well, you're getting that this morning here in Champaign as we are at halftime in the Class 5A championship game. Montini with a touchdown lead on JCA. Patrick Reed, Edgy Tim back at field level. And if we're talking about Montini, we're talking about explosive plays that nearly had this game broken open in the second quarter.
They are, and I think Montini for a long time had a reputation of being a big throwing team. They do everything. They really can, and they've showed basically the diversity in that offense. And again, just they can run, they can pass, they can do a lot of different things. obviously that's why they're up a touchdown here at half.
And that's just it. All of those things on display, big play after big play, and they would go up 21-7 in the second quarter, starting it on the ground. Nick Fidanzo takes it in for the touchdown. Fidanzo averaging more than 11 yards per play in the first half.
Well, and again, you know why he's committed to Illinois with that burst. Once he hits the corner, very difficult.
So Fidanzo carrying the load on the ground to carry Montini to the big lead. And the turnovers also putting them in position. Robert Brazil, a nice half for Montini, navigating the offense as well.
Yeah, and again, it's been an interesting dynamic between the rotating quarterbacks, and Robert is quote-unquote more of the throwing quarterback, and definitely showed it on that play.
Here the give, and the score. And that made it 21-7 at that point, and like you said, well-balanced offensive effort in the first half for Montini. And one of the things that was talked about this week was the buzzsaw of a schedule that they had to face in the last half of the regular season before going into the playoffs, before being faced with these types of situations, especially with the Blue League opponents they had.
Well, and to be honest, the regular season was probably the biggest test they've had up until this game. So, I mean, it sounds strange to say that, but when, as you mentioned, you're coming from the Catholic League Blue, it was a big test, certainly, in the regular season, which prepared them, I feel, for this stage. And Joliet Catholic the same.
With the things that Montini did offensively in the first half of play, what do you expect in the second half? Are there any adjustments that need to be made?
No, offensively, not really. And obviously, with the injuries, you're going to have to focus now on 32 for Nick Iatone. And again, but, I mean, offensively, would you change anything? I wouldn't change a whole lot.
We'll see whether Deonte Bell is able to come back at full strength as well, and not factoring in so much in the two-quarterback system, but still able to make the big plays better than 15 yards per carry.
Yeah, that's definitely getting it done. So, yeah, that is a factor if he's not able to return.
Good track in the first half. No rain, sunshine, some wind, so the conditions obviously better. And
I'll take it.
And for us, it's great. They should give way to an exciting second half, and when we get back, we'll take a look at JCA and what they need to do moving forward to have a chance in this 5A championship game in Champaign. Back at beautiful and historic Memorial Stadium in Champaign, and what is developing into a nice fall day for the Class 5A championship game. Montini with a 7-point lead on Joliet Catholic here at halftime. And Edgy Tim, as we're looking at what has to happen for JCA going forward, they're going to have to do it without Kenan Haley. You mentioned how important he is in the opener, but an early injury may have changed the course of this game.
Yeah, it really has. And just before the half, we saw him go off on the cart, so you never want to see that. So you hope the young man's going to be okay, but it does change your game now. You know, I think the problem JCA runs into the most is just depth at the running back position. I think Nick Iatone is certainly, as you guys mentioned in the broadcast, going to get a load of the offensive carries here. But again, you just don't want to see in this big game such a key kid like Kenan Haley go down. But again, not as all lost as you saw. Nick Iatone obviously very strong in the running game, and has kind of been used to getting more and more of the load during the season here. So again, hopefully that young man will be just fine, and JCA will pick it up with Iatone and hopefully continue to run the ball, because let's face it, he's been pretty effective.
You know, worth commending the presence of mind there, Kenan Haley. He put it on the turf when he was hurt. He was able to pick it up and prevent it from being a turnover for JCA. Now, the rushing attack is going to have to turn to Nick Iatone, and, you know, he showed that he could do something in this first half, averaging nearly 10 yards per carry.
Yeah, he's very capable. Again, he's not your quote-unquote plotting fullback that a lot of people are used to. He's got some skill. He's got some quickness when he needs to, and again, it's you're wondering, can you find that other attack? You're getting the inside run from him. Can you find a wing back that maybe can offset a little bit and mix things up offensively, or at least keep that Montini defense from loading up the box and really staying at home inside?
Credit that Hilltopper offensive line for creating those holes for Nick Iatone to help get his team back into the game. Iatone with 1 touchdown, 150 yards rushing. And to come back with some big plays, really important for them.
It is. We talk about answering, and you definitely need to come back. And even with the injuries, you got to bring this team back up. Certainly for Coach Jaworski, And early on, you want to, again, it's about setting tone in this game and answering, and you need to get that out of Joliet Catholic here in the second half.
I think that one thing is going to be important for Coach Jaworski's team is going to be keeping Montini off the field. That time of possession, 15 minutes to just over 6
yeah,
for Montini.
And again, you're hoping your run game certainly helps with controlling the clock a little bit, and an absolute key, because you don't want Montini getting those long drives. Your defense is going to wear down.
How do you prevent the big play going forward?
Just, you got to keep everyone in front of you, and again, it's got to have gap responsibility up front, and just, you know, you've just got to prevent guys cracking a seam and trying to break a long run. Easier said for us to say than do, but absolute must. You've got to keep Montini in front of you here in the second half. And
you have to, because JCA is not really a team that's built to do things in big chunks and make big comebacks in the game.
Yeah, and again, you saw towards the end of the second quarter, you saw a kid like Nate Mersch get involved. And again, he's a 6'4", 6'5" receiver. Wouldn't be shocked if Coach Boo tries to find him early with the passing game a little bit.
So Montini has confidence. They're coming onto the field right behind us with a 7-point lead in Champaign over Joliet Catholic in our Class 5A state championship game. We're back to Memorial Stadium with more after this.
Time in Champaign, the 5A championship game. Montini with a 21-14 lead. The Broncos are back out on the field first, and Deonte Bell did come back out, but he's been over on the sideline the entire time, has not been warming up. I've talked to some fans, family members in the stands, and has been jogging on the sideline, but that's the most we've seen him do so far, Mark. Robert Brazil, who came in and completed 3 out of 6 for 89 yards, has been doing all of the warm-ups on the sidelines and throwing the ball.
Bell had 104 yards, rushing a touchdown, a long of 73 in the first half. Did not throw the football very much. Brazil comes in and starts tossing around a little bit, very capable backup, but 2 stars on either boundary right now. Kenan Haley for Joliet Catholic, and Brazil, and of course the quarterback Deonte Bell for Montini.
Montini up 7. Joliet Catholic will get the ball back with the second half in Champaign. Coming up next.
All right, welcome back here with Jake Jaworski from JCA Jaws. Just your quick thoughts, and what'd you tell the team here at the half?
You know, our guys, our seniors, we got 24 minutes of football left in the brown and white. You know, go out there and, you know, play our game. You know, can't turn the ball over. We got to stop the run. And, you know, we just got to get after it and play with some pride.
Kenan, obviously, unfortunately, we saw him go off here at the half. I mean, does it change your game plan at all? How do you approach it?
Yeah, we just got to move some personnel around. But, yeah, losing a warrior like that, you know, it hurts. But, you know, he's going to be there supporting our guys. You know, Nicky Anatone's taken over the load, and he's done a hell of a job with the guys up front to answer their that last touchdown.
Great. Josh, thank you very much. Good luck. Guys, we'll send it back up to you.
We are ready to start the third quarter. You see the Hilltoppers come back out, go to the sidelines, and Mark Anatone, 18 carries, 161. Every carry he's had so far today has gone for positive yardage, the long of 40, and a touchdown.
Well, he got off the snide early, made himself a known commodity. He already was coming in, of course, but as far as this football game, and then with the injury, we knew his productivity would be challenged more. His carries would increase. He's answered that bell, 18 carries. See what he finishes up with. Is it going to be 36? Is it going to be 38? Is it going to be 40? He's going to be the workhorse, no doubt about it.
You saw Haley on the sidelines, Coach Jaworski mentioning that he'd be out there supporting the guys and everything he can do from a vocal leadership type of role on the sidelines for Haley, and Joliet Catholic will get the ball to start the second half as Montini won the toss earlier and took the ball. So it'll be Joliet Catholic ball as they direct traffic and tell the guys which way they're going.
Yeah, you know, every coach of every sport, you know, team sports, has a next man up mentality when there's an injury. Well, let's call it like it is. Kenan Haley's pretty special. And next man up, and Coach talked about it at his interview with Edgy. There's no doubt that the depth is going to be challenged as well. And that's when I talked about in the first half, the offensive line has to be even more dominant than they normally are. as they get into the depth chart of their backs.
And we saw on the first drive without Haley, Julian Perez stepped up, had a carry and a big block on the touchdown run. And Justin Alvarez stepped up too with the 15-yard reception from his brother Jordan. So that's exactly what they're looking for. Guys like that to step up and make plays. And that's a pair of juniors in Perez and Alvarez who've been kind of waiting for their moment.
Yeah, you don't want to be one-dimensional in your offense. So if you have mix in a pass, mix in a fullback, mix in some misdirection, and then your steady diet of your basic running back, that's when you're in full gear.
Kick into the end zone as we start the second half. Here's how the Hilltoppers got here as a 5-4 team. They went down to the Peoria area, beat Metamora 49-20, knocked off Marion and Highland 49-7 and 55-21. And that Hillcrest game, it was 8-6 at halftime and then finished 42-6, getting the 5 interceptions as they get the win. They are only the 6th 4-loss team to make it to the finals. Those 4-loss teams are 2-3. 2008 IC Catholic and the 2009 Montini team that beat Joliet Catholic, the 2 4-loss state champions. And now the Hilltoppers are hoping to return that favor to the Broncos.
And they got some work to do. And, you go back to Haley's injury. Remember, this Joliet Catholic team, they lost way back in week 1. Kenyatta Williams, who was going to be one of their feature backs, he was lost to an injury very early on, a knee situation. So everybody in the depth charts moved up a slot. That's way back week 1.
Williams, a junior with some D1 and Ivy League interest. And here's Isiah Tone again, a first down carry. He goes for 12.
Big fellas up front to get a nice outside push. And then Iannatone with an inside cut. He sees the flow of the defense, goes back against the grain. Vision, balance, acceleration at the second level.
Perez, and there is the fullback, and he'll get the carry and go nowhere. 44 met by 44. That's Trevor Swire, the junior, with over 120 tackles on the season.
He's one of their best defenders, 100 tackles you mentioned on the season. Montini's played a lot of young kids. They played 5 sophomores of significant playing time.
For second and long, 2nd and 9 here. Antone, left side, gets around the edge. There's just one man to beat. Down the sideline, out of bounds. Got forced out. The last guy back was number 5, Raymond Wolkovich. And if he didn't get him, he was gone.
Perez with a great block, and also leading out in front was Kovis. So once again, the fullback and the tackle just leading that 29-yard push.
Another big run.
Getting them in chunks, aren't they?
Over 200 on the day for Iannatone. Whistle. Just resetting the football before the snap.
Double wing.
Iannatone again. Just shy of the 30. Pick up 4.
So they'll put him behind a fullback. They'll put him at a fullback, with a single running back with a double wing. No matter which of those 2 formations, they want to get him the football.
Pick up a 4 on the first down carry. Alvarez looking to put it in the air, down the middle. He's got a man and not held on to inside the 5. Some contact at the end. That was intended for Isiah Murphy, their leading receiver on the season.
And Murphy got behind the defense. That's what happened with run, play action. That ball had a little bit too much air to see the throw. And then he goes to the turf and pays for it. He gets up enough just to watch. Did my buddy catch it? No.
Swire hit him, and Buffkin was there grabbing the arm right as the ball got there. 3rd and 6, so make it 4th and 2 as Iannatone just shy of the 25. What they need for the first down here on 4th and 2 and going into a 20-plus mile an hour wind.
Chanelli linebacker with the stop. One-on-one against the great running back that the Iannatones have. Look at the box stack.
Broncos crowd making some noise. Iannatone gets his way through traffic, gets across the 20, still going, dragging 3 defenders inside the 15 for a 12-yard pickup on 4th and 2.
Oh, so strong. And Dave Mono picks him up at the end. The big hog loves his buddy. Gets some extra yardage after contact. 3-4 yards after contact.
Jamari Harris,
will. Yes.
Jamari Harris was hanging on for dear life right there. And Brucinelli and West finally able to wrangle him down at the 15.
This thus far is Joliet Catholic just being themselves on this drive.
32 again, down inside the 10.
Ground and pound.
One incomplete pass. Everything else on this drive has been on the ground.
Yeah, they threw one pass to keep the defense honest. They have one fullback carry just to keep the defense honest. And then I think number 32, I think he's had the ball 8 times on this drive.
10th play of the drive coming up. They've taken right close to 4 minutes off the clock on the first drive of the second half, trying to get the game even. It's Iannatone again, up the middle this time, taking a defender into the end zone for a touchdown. JCA within 1 of getting this game tied.
9 yards on that touchdown scamper. I believe it was 13 plays. 10 plays it was, and he carried 8 of those. And he is getting a good view on the backside of his teammate, Connor Kovacs, because he followed him through the hole every time. Power football blocking by Joliet Catholic. A great drive.
The all-important extra point to get us even at 21 is good. 10 plays, 80 yards, 3 minutes and 56 seconds. 2 scores in a row for the Hilltoppers. Iannatone's got them both, and we're tied at 21.
TV timeout.
21 all, early third quarter here in Champaign between the Broncos and the Hilltoppers. And Mark, they've done this before. 2009, a thriller. Montini, a touchdown and a 2-pointer with 32 seconds left to win 29-28. Jordan Westerkamp, 6 catches for 80. They ran for 369 yards, did the Hilltoppers in that one. 29-28-09 thriller. The 2011 game, 70-45, the largest scoring game in IHSA Finals history, with records all over the place. And here's part 3 of the trilogy, now tied at 21 in the third quarter on an 18-yard return.
Yeah, Montini's had the best of Joliet Catholic. They defeated them 4 straight encounters. And this one we're looking at not at a 21, going to the wire. Listen to this contact and collision.
Anthony Casper, 31 Alex Nabuda, both seniors.
Tell you what, some pop, you can hear it upstairs. There's some hits going on.
Big drive for Montini, and they start off with a long run, getting across the 40. Fidanzo, he just stood on the sideline and watched Iannatone rumble down the field. Now it's his turn and a 17-yard pickup.
Well, they fake the jet. They go on an inside handoff, a little trap play, if you will. Good individual tackle, but Fidanzo with that breakaway speed is putting up some big numbers of his own.
This team's already seen 3 100-yard rushers. One of those, Bell, is out for Montini. Pass down the middle from Brazil is over the head of Scott West and incomplete.
First down play action call Brazil has a West split the seam on a post. Gets behind the defense, but got to let him run a little bit deeper on that. Let him run underneath the football.
Second and 10. Wide receivers moving around for Montini, 4 of them. Fake the jet sweep, and it's Fidonzo up the middle. And now it's Montini's turn to push a pile. They'll pick up 4.
See, when you spread out the defense like Montini's doing their spread sets, you'll see them using a wide receiver, a slot. What that does, it takes linebackers out of the box. If you have people, your offense is in tight, the defense will be in tight. It's all a numbers game. When they spread like this, they'll take linebacker out of the box, which opens up the running lanes for Fidonzo.
The Joliet Catholic fans making some noise, looking for a 3rd and 6 stop.
Montini 2 of 4 third down conversions thus far.
Bell rolls to his right. He's got a man in the flat and will pick up the first down. Going to Matt Ross. 9-yard pickup. Ross with his 19th reception of the season.
He averaged 17 yards a catch, so when he touches it, he has big play potential.
Moving the chains. They're set now across midfield for the Broncos.
Wind's starting to pick up a little bit at the Broncos back right now.
Quick pass, left side. Olsen pushed out of bounds right around the 40.
Nice block by Matt Ross, who's a little bit dinged after throwing that block. A little stalk block on the outside, getting the ball out in space where Olsen could try to make a play. Wide receivers have to block for each other. If you do, you compliment each other so much.
Pickup of 9 on that quick pass. You see the flags here at Memorial Stadium. Wind over 20 miles an hour throughout the day. Brazil looking to the sideline to get a play in. Yeah, they can't keep the ball set in the middle. The official was standing there with his foot on it to make sure it didn't move before Considine was ready to snap. Brazil going to scramble. Now he throws right side and over the head of Olsen. An incomplete. 3rd down coming up.
Well, Brazil bought some time with his feet, and that was an example of a youngster. He had more time to deliver that football than he thought he had. If he would have just taken time, planted, or at least squared his shoulders, he would have had a completion out in the flat.
They just converted a 3rd down. This one, 3rd and 1. And again, the ball's starting to roll away. Spotted down to the 38. Brazil is going to run this time. He's got the first down and across the 35.
They had 4 to move those sticks, and what happened there, that was designed quarterback power. Everybody would think Fidonzo, but Fidonzo was the man that kicked out the defensive end with a block. That's the joy of a design quarterback run. You have that extra blocker in your arsenal. It's about numbers. How many do we have blocking? How many you have up front?
First and 10 at the 34. This time it is Fidonzo up the middle, moving the pile, and then it takes 2 to drag him back. Forward progress is going to put him about the 27. A pickup of 7.
Weiss and Meyer, the tandem that's maybe their 2 best defenders in their back end with good tackles. Amazing that each team's only had the football once this quarter. It's been ball control.
Big hits. 5A state championship game. Brazil empty backfield, throws it quickly, gets it to Ross, and holding on for dear life on the ankles at the 20 there. was Jabril Williams, number 6, the sophomore. He was not going to let Ross go at all. Pickup of 7 and a first down.
Max Briscoe came in late, tried to punch that ball out, literally punch that ball out. Watch 45 come into your screen late. There's the hold. And then give you a shot at it right there.
Fidonzo, left side, headed for the end zone. He's got 3. Touchdown, Broncos, 20 yards.
Just so explosive when he gets through the hole. That one opened up like the Red Sea. That was a big gap. Opened up on the left side of that Montini Bronco offensive line, doing their jobs, getting some good push. And there's the beneficiary right now.
Fidonzo into the end zone for the 3rd time today, the 17th time on the ground this season. Scott West extra point is no good. 27-21, Montini off of the missed extra point, a 10-play, 77-yard drive that took 2 minutes and 51 seconds. It was Iannatone for Joliet Catholic all down the field. The Broncos moved it through various players, but it was Fidonzo who capped it off with his 3rd touchdown run of the day. The Broncos dancing. He's having a lot of fun. 27-21. Montini. The players dance as well. Montini regains the lead 27-21 after missing the extra point. They are ready to kick it away to the Hilltoppers, and Nick Iannatone ready to get back out there. We see Fidonzo and 2 big running backs in this game, and just as we expected, although we were talking off the top about Kenan Haley, who left with the injured ankle, and Nick Iannatone has stepped in and carried the load, over 200 yards on his end.
3 touchdowns on the afternoon. For morning.
Big hit at the 15, driving the Hilltoppers back. We saw big hits on the last kickoff from the Hilltoppers coverage team. This time it's the Broncos and C.J. Buffkin. He's been all over the place so far.
Boy, that one you could feel from up here. I reacted as the contact was being made. That was a big-time pop in the open field.
As the Hilltoppers start this drive, let's go downstairs and bring in Patrick Reed. Patrick?
As Montini is making its impact into this game in the second half, you're not going to find a head coach like Mike Bukowski, who has the success across multiple sports now on the football side. He's handled the defense for Montini and the team. He's been a part of the football program for 30 years now and part of 6 overall state titles. But he could be one of the only state champions in the IHSA in 3 different sports. He coached the wrestling team for 25 years to 8 state titles. That program holds the current title under Coach Israel Martinez, also the head softball coach, and they are the current state champs. They've won 2 of the last 3 titles. Now, asking him about the difference between coaching girls and boys from softball to wrestling to football, he said, it's coaching committed versus non-committed athletes. That's all it is at the end of the day. The lesson across sports, genders, is to earn it. The formula to success isn't hard, but sometimes it's hard to follow. Guys, he's had no problem getting his athletes in any sport to follow the model for success.
Such a great leader in all 3 sports. Got to coach his daughter Amy in the 2016 state title run. They won it last year, and Markey told us during the week that they won the softball championship in East Peoria on Saturday night. He took about 12 hours off after he woke up on Sunday, and then Sunday night he started looking at film, and Monday they had a football workout. We're ready to go.
7-on-7. Joliet Catholic sets the line 5 out of 7. 3rd down.
3rd and 7 here, and it's up the middle, which will be turned away. And it'll be 4th down for the Hilltoppers.
You know, going back to Coach Bukowski, the one part of that I like that he said is, you know, resonates for me as a coach, is the recipe's not hard, but the recipe's sometimes hard to follow. And that's really the truth. with athletes. Everybody knows what they need to do. Can you have that self-discipline? Obviously, many of these young men on the football field today have had that self-discipline to get themselves in a position to be athletes playing for state title.
The athletic department, including those 14 titles from wrestling, 6 more after Coach Bukowski retired, and Patrick mentioned Israel Martinez taking over from there. Girls hoops, 4 titles as well under Jason Nichols. They finished second in March, losing on a last-second shot as Geneva repeated. And the Bronquettes, 15 titles. The dance team, and since 1994, 15 titles, including 2 straight. So something else that they hold for the Montini athletic department as well. 4th and 3. Mark, what's the thought process here? Are they looking to go for it?
Well, I'd be shocked if they did. What has surprised me so far is that they had to use this timeout to get their punt team down on the field. But the only reason you would go for it is in respect to the Montini offense, quite honestly, because you think I can't chase 2 scores, so they've got their offense out on the field. Also, punting into the wind might be a bit of a factor as well. But they are ready to go for it. Called the timeout, 4th and 3. Tony's not going to get there. Wrapped up. Swire. Bruscinelli. And number 60, Cam Richardson. But it was Trevor Swire who got there first, and then let his buddies come and help up. So as they take the lead on the touchdown run by Anatone, Joliet Catholic gambles a little bit, and I'm going to go back to what I was alluding to. That's not a position on the field that you really want to go for it, but they did that in respect to Montini's offense. They have not been able to stop Montini. So at this point, they just felt we had to keep the football in our hands to Jake Jaworski. Brazil hands off to Fidanzo, and now it's on JCA's defense to come up big, and they do on the first down play, turning Fidanzo for a 1-yard loss. Well, piggyback off that, Nathan, because that's an excellent point in regards to team football. You know, sometimes the offense has to pick up the defense. Sometimes the defense has to pick up the offense. And you really have 2 choices right now of your JCA's defense. Give in or gut it out. You give in to the elements that you just got, your ball's deep in your own territory. You can fight even harder right now to get a stop. 2nd and 11. Brazil over the middle. Too strong and intercepted. There's the stop. Picked off by Matt Yankee. He had one last week against Hillcrest, and he's got one in the state championship game. They had 5. The defense responds to that challenge we were just referring to. Sitting back in a little bit of zone coverage, reading the eyes of the young sophomore quarterback, Brazil. The receiver stopped the route, a little bit of hitch, ball a little bit overthrown, and sitting there reading the eyes. It was Yankee for the INT. Triple coverage they threw into. Now Joliet Catholic has another fresh set of downs. Playing center field, Alvarez is going to put it up and off the hands of Murphy. 2nd and 10. Murphy went towards the boundary. Perez comes sprinting in to give another blocker. Murphy, arguably their best vertical guy. He can stretch the field, and they can throw the ball up to him at its highest point. 6'2" tall receiver. If they're going to go back to their passing game, which they don't like to do, it's usually number 8, Isiah Murphy. 8 receptions, 4 touchdowns. That's a good ratio. Yeah. Up the middle, Anatone across the 20. Mack is the same, 7 receptions, 4 touchdowns. So those 2 receivers with 15 catches on the season, and 8 of them have gone for scores. So when they do throw, they end up in the end zone. Another big 3rd down here for Joliet Catholic. 3rd and 6. Well, this one's been everything it was made to be thus far. 2 outstanding physical football teams. Anatone tries it left side, cuts it back up the middle, and he's going to be right at the sticks. Montini defenders are signaling 4th down, and
He will be about a full yard short. Oh, they went for it on 4th and 3 in the same area. Do they do it on 4th and 1? Alvarez is running back out.
So what play selection? Everybody in the ballpark, right? Memorial Stadium thinking Iannatone.
Loud on both sides of the bleachers here at Memorial Stadium. 4th and 1, 30 seconds left in the third. It is Iannatone, and he's right at the yard to gain. And it's a first down. This time they get it.
Hard running. He knew where he had to get to. Took the contact, kept driving, moved the sticks. So they're 1 for 2 on 4th down, and they're get out of jail field position-wise as well.
Closing in on 250 on the afternoon, and a big hit by Bruscinelli.
31 carries, 253 yards for Iannatone on the day.
And here is Kenan Haley. Is he coming back in?
What's he trying? Would that be a story or what?
He's working on it. He's got the crutches off. He's got the shoe back on. And we'll see if we see Kenan Haley in the 4th quarter. Here's Willis Reed moment. Is that coming up in the 4th quarter? 27-21 Montini after 3. Fourth quarter in Champaign. The first play of the quarter going for 4 yards, so it's a 3rd and 2 for the Hilltoppers. And they're going to be right at the sticks. Looks like he's got enough for the first down. Iannatone tackled by Swire. His 34th carry of the day.
76 rushing plays between these two teams, and a total offense between the two teams of 740 yards. So it is the offenses that we highlighted in the open that have been the storyline here today. Running games of both teams.
Run up the middle for a couple. That was Perez, the fullback. Iannatone might get some reinforcements. Perez that time on the carry.
6 yards, good first down yardage. 2nd and short, you can deal with that, but they're going to stay with a little roll.
Alvarez is going to keep it this time. Rolling out to his left. He's got a lot of real estate. Cuts back to the middle and gets to the 35. 21-yard pickup.
Designed quarterback run by Alvarez, who doesn't get into the action as much from a carry standpoint. A little bit of misdirection. Excellent block on the outside, and following that block by Ty Ojanovic was Alvarez as he took that block, read it, cut it back inside after the kick-out block. Good yards back against the flow of the defense.
22 carries on the season coming into today. His only other carry today was that broken play from their first drive.
So they came out there with a little bit of a different wrinkle.
Here's Perez. He'll get across the 30.
7 yards on that one, and that was a really good carry. What I mean by that is, no, it wasn't explosive, but he's so patient with this. Perez just reading that cut. Look who's just coming to the football game.
I'll tell you what, he's been stalking Coach Jaworski this entire drive, walking right behind him like a shadow.
Good way to do that.
Put me in, Coach. Put me in, Coach. Put me in, Coach. And here he comes. Coach turned around once and looked at the doctor and said, really?
If he got an okay, he's good. And there's a pretty good chance he's going to get this carry. He's back in his normal position now, and Iantone in front of him.
He does get the carry. He'll pick up a couple on 2nd down, and they'll have a 3rd down carry. Wow. Toughing it out.
There's no doubt he wants to be on the field. Now, Iantone had been hotter than a pistol. That time utilized as a running back. As a blocking back. And it's going to be Haley's opportunity to pick up this 1st down, you would think.
3rd and 3. They've missed a pair of 3rd downs and then gone 1 for 2 on 4th down. It's Haley up the middle, and he gets across the 25 and has enough to move the sticks. 4-yard pickup. And a 1st down.
And as the Hilltoppers get ever closer, they got to finish this drive. Look on that nice run on the inside by Kenan Haley. That missed extra point up on the board as the clock continues to move, and so does Joliet Catholic's offense looms large.
This time it's Iantone, and he breaks through the first layer of Broncos tacklers, gets to the 18, pickup of 6.
Well, their chunk yardage has been extreme today. They have numerous plays, 5, 6, 7, 8 yards. And Montini has the same thing in their offense. 4 down linemen for 2 linebackers in the box right now.
It's Iantone again, up the middle, touchdown! Joliet Catholic ties the game. 18-yard run and an extra point for the lead.
Boy, he got into the end zone in a millisecond right there. It was handoff, boom, touchdown. And little inside handoff. Haley is a decoy on that one. Nice block on it inside. He read it really well.
Traybold for the lead. And the Hilltoppers on top. 28-27 on a 13-play, 84-yard drive that took 5 minutes and 18 seconds off the clock.
TV timeout.
3rd touchdown of the day for Iantone. JCA up 1. Three touchdowns on the day for number 32, Nick Iantone. Joliet Catholic on top, and Edgy Tim down on the sideline has got another number 32.
Yeah, I've got another former number 32 Joliet Catholic who's actually on these sidelines mentoring these running backs. Ty Isaac joining me, and Ty, just your thoughts on Nick Iantone and his efforts here today.
I'm just really happy for all these guys, and before the game I told him, I said I think a lot of what is going to be good for the offense is going to go through him, just between blocking and running the ball. So he's playing really well, and the whole team is fighting, so I'm proud of him right now.
I know you've been talking to Kenan Haley as well. What did you tell him just before he went in?
Just with, the biggest part with these guys is you got to play tough. He's done well all year, and, don't change what you've been doing. If it's worked all year, keep playing hard.
You played in a game where you had a few carries and a few yards against this Montini team. What do you tell a kid like Nick at this stage of the game? You're 7:48 to play. He's gassed. What do you tell him?
Same thing I've been telling him. You got 12 minutes left. That's it. It's your senior season. You got to do whatever you can to get it. Get the ball in the end zone, help your team win. And these kids got a lot of fight because 2 years ago nobody was talking about JCA. We weren't good. Last year it was a struggle, and I watched all these kids fight. I watched them work in the weight room, and Coach Jaworski's done a great job. So I'm proud of them, and they're fighting like they have been. So this is no surprise to us. They just got to hold them off.
All right, Ty. Thanks a lot, guys. Back up to you up top.
Thanks, Edgy Tim. And Ty Isaac, 2011 state title game against Montini. 26 carries, 515 yards, 6 touchdowns, most yards, most rush touchdowns in any title game. But they had the 45-42 lead and did not win, as Montini with Jordan Westerkamp setting his own record with 353 receptions and 5 touchdowns, getting the win. Isaac then carried the ball at both USC and Michigan, and a great mentor for these kids to have.
Just crazy numbers that you just read off, and he was a fun one to watch. These two teams combined for 800 yards of offense here this morning.
2nd and 8. Handoff up the middle, and another big run out to midfield for Fidonzo.
Montini going to play with a little bit of tempo right now for that 20-yard pickup. Kurt Weiss with the solo tackle may have saved the touchdown. Little inside handoff. Zone read, a nice tackle in space by the All-Stater Kurt Weiss.
800 yards today. They were both right at 800 in 2011. In fact, Montini went for 853. JCA 791 in that game. Both records as well. And here's a short run for Olsen. He'll pick up just 1. They've had some classics, and they're adding another chapter today.
Yeah, this one has been special from the get-go. I'll punch you back, punch you back. Neither team is blinking, and you know what? They both, I mean, if you take a look at, again, JCA, they had to win in week 9 to extend their season. They've been on against the ropes all season long, and they're on the ropes today, but they've taken the lead, 28-27.
Snap, he wasn't ready for it. It's a loose ball. JCA says they have it. A big moment in this one. Who's got it at the bottom of that pile?
Don't watch the players pointing, because they all claim they have it.
Snap hit the quarterback in the knee, and Montini keeps it. Now they got to dig through and get everybody up.
Think there was any positioning going on well after that whistle?
I think there still is. Brazil dove in for it. Let's see. Hit him in the right knee, and if they got it back, it was Brazil. He was the only one in there for the first few seconds of that scrum. 3rd and 9.
Yeah, they're 4 out of 6. Sophomore quarterback has to make a play.
Gonna use his legs and get tripped up right at midfield. Mac O'Connell, Max Briscoe. And 4th down for the Broncos.
He has some time. Decides to tuck it away. And in traffic. He can't get out.
Mac O'Connell dives through his blocker right there, 17, and just got enough to slow him down. That's a great job by the 6'1", 225-pound junior O'Connell. The Broncos are going to ask their defense to stop Joliet Catholic. Punt into the wind, checks up, and will be at the 24-yard line. 25-yard boot with 5:01 to play.
So the storyline in here is how many times can you move the chains and move the clock simultaneously? Churn, churn, churn is what JCA has in their mind right now. And if you think Montini was stacking the box before, check it out now.
How about this history? 13 titles, the most in IHSA. 4 runner-ups, 2 of those losses to Montini, looking for their first title in 11 years. And Mark, we mentioned it early, every head coach in school history going back to 1959 has at least one state championship. And here's Ianatone picking up big yardage again.
415 yards and counting right now of rushing offense for JCA.
Add 18 to that on the run. by Iannatone. He's closing in on 40 carries today.
Well, the sign of a great running team is when you have a lead, when the defense knows you're running the ball, and you still impose your will up front. That's a special running team. And right now, 307 yards and 37 carries for the would-be player of the game.
19 of those carries in the second half, and this is his 20th carry of the second half. He'll get out to the 57, a pickup of 5.
18 carries first half, as you mentioned, 20 this half. And we, as soon as Haley went down, we said he'd be the workhorse. They changed his position in the backfield, and they changed his role to that of a feature. And he has lit it up.
He's got a unique mouth guard in there. Look at that. Spinning. The gold. Whatever works for him, and it's all work today. Clock under 4 minutes. It's Haley. Makes the man miss. Picks up the first down. Haley to the 46. A pickup of 7.
It's a dynamic duo right now carrying the football. Talk about a 1-2 punch, and a punishing 1-2 punch they are.
First and 10. At the 46-yard line for this ball. Haley coming back, Mark.
Yeah,
really opened it up for their offense.
Yeah, and now watch the snap clock, because JCA is going to utilize as much of that snap clock right now, 15 seconds on it, they can, using clock management. They do not need to be in a hurry with their ground game.
And movement. And everybody, as you said on the fumble, don't watch the players because they're all going to point the other direction.
Grab the ball. Encroachment. Defense.
That's on Montini. They came across first.
And that's a situation, defensive line trying to make a play, and you still need to stay with your fundamentals. The defender does not want to listen to the quarterback. The defender wants to watch the football. Only the 4th penalty of this clean game between the two teams. Well played football game.
First and 5. It's Haley. Right side. Followed over Janovac and picked up 1. Clock goes under 3 minutes. 3rd down. Excuse me, 2nd down.
Cushinelli, another tackle. It's got to be close to double digits. The All-Stater, their leading tackler on the year.
Second and 4, right on the 40. Montini does have all 3 timeouts left. Handoff. And going nowhere. And now it'll be 3rd down, and we'll give them forward progress to the 39 and make it a 3rd and 3. And Coach Bukowski is going to use timeout number 1 with 2:15 to go. Facing a 3rd and 3 play.
Yeah, he had no choice but to burn one there. I'll have to burn one no matter what on this situation.
3rd and 3. Coming up for the Broncos.
Well, Montini right now on the boundary trying to scheme this defensively, what they want to do, what gaps they're going to shoot, how they're going to play this defensive stand. Joliet Catholic basically one stop away from moving the sticks, one first down away from finishing off this football game.
We've had a good one here. Championship football continues later today on NBC Sports Chicago at 1 o'clock. Watch Cary Grove take on Crete Moni for the IHSA Class 6A title. You can also stream the game live on NBCSportsChicago.com. 3rd down carry up the middle, moving the pile. First down, Hilltoppers.
Too much up front. That's been their recipe throughout this playoff drive. This playoff drive started in week 9.
1st and 10. The 34. We'll go under 2 minutes to play.
The snap won't take place till about 1:45, 1:47.
Anatone and Haley in the backfield. It's Haley. He waited for his blockers. Gets down to the 30. A pickup of 4. And Montini will use timeout number 2 with 1:40 to play.
Well, they started this drive with just over 5 minutes to go in the football game after the punt. And we said it will be their running game. Stop us if you can. And they've been able to move the sticks. Everyone knowing that they're running the football, and they've still been able to do just that.
Joliet Catholic trailed 21-7 in the second quarter, and we see their comeback on the legs of Nick Iannatone. Big carry. And they get the interception as well. And stop Montini. Moving into the end zone, and then Kenan Haley came back in, getting that little extra jolt. He gets a big carry to move the sticks, and it's been Iannatone the rest of the way. He's got a hat trick and over 300 yards. 2nd and 6 on the 30. It's Haley. Haley left side. Haley to the end zone. Touchdown, Joliet Catholic. Welcome back.
What a way to finish the deal with it. Kenan Haley coming back from being on crutches to being in the ears of his coaching staff, to being back on the field, to getting into the end zone. An incredible drive which started with 5:01 to go. They moved it right downfield. And then the exclamation point from the All-Stater, getting to the house.
30-yard touchdown run for number 27.
98 yards for Kenan Haley, 317 for Iannatone.
7 plays, 76 yards, 3:28 off the clock. But for Montini, still just a one-possession game. Get the touchdown, get the 2. They've got 93 seconds to do so. The touchdown for Kenan Haley, our Wintrust play of the game. And it's all Kenan Haley. He gets a hug on the sideline, and here's his day. An injury, the second quarter, and we saw him on the sidelines getting looked at, getting wrapped, heading the crutches, needing the cart to get to the locker room. But that's not how he was going to end his senior season. He's going to do it looking like his idol, Eddie Lacy, to the end zone and celebrating. And the fans are loving it.
Oh my goodness, is she excited? She still can't believe what she just saw.
Well, Red Lobster's his favorite. You might get some of that all-you-can-eat lobster to finish off Thanksgiving weekend. Touchback, so Montini's got 93 seconds to go, 80 yards. They needed 2 to tie as well, but they've gotten a touchdown and a 2 late in the game against Joliet Catholic here before.
Joliet Catholic will play incredibly deep. They'll play probably 2 or 3 deep zone at the back end. Kurt Weiss will probably be about 15 yards back at the free safety. And a long field for this young sophomore to survey.
Here's Fidanzo. He's had a monster day. 3 touchdowns, 170 yards, and He goes out at the 35. First down, which will stop the clock. The 16-yard pickup. They do have one timeout left.
Smart play for Pedonzo, getting himself to the boundary to save that timeout.
Iannatone and Haley have combined for 414 and 5 touchdowns. Pass, that's out of bounds.
Montini working their 2-minute drill, something that's been going on since last June. Working 2-minute offenses and 7-on-7s, passing leagues through summer camp, through fall camp, and it comes down to their final drive of the season in regulation.
Brazil over the middle's got a man, and that is complete to the 44. Catch by Olsen.
Nice job by Olsen coming back to the football. A little bit short-armed, underthrown, but Olsen comes back, gets his hands underneath it.
Pickup of 20. Stop the clock for him to move the chains. Clock running down. The minute 10 left. Throwing. Mersch completed. Clock will run there. Got to get to the line quickly with the pickup of 6. Second down. Brazil scrambling. Slung down by Gorski right at the marker. First down.
Gorski hung on, or that could have been an explosive play.
45 seconds left, and they'll spike it with 42. For 2nd and 10. Going into the wind.
Brazil, for a sophomore, the young quarterback looks extremely poised. He's got a presence to him that is exuded from his coach. Good picture of the young man here trying to lead his ball club to a possible tie score.
West in motion. Brazil's looking on the right side for Mersch. Caught inside the 20. He was battling there with Mundo Meyer. And Mersch picks up 18.
What a great catch. Mersch in traffic with Mundo Meyer. He's able to grip it with his hands and keep possession.
At the 16, looking for Mersch again. End zone. Off his hands and out of bounds. 29 seconds left. 2nd and 10. He almost hauled in. A fantastic touchdown catch here. So close to 6.
Every one of your calls is going to be an exciting call from here on out, or they have been all day.
Pedonzo in the backfield. 4 wide receivers. Quick throw. Caught. Tackled. Clock will run. Mundo Meyer was not letting Mersch get away. And here's Montini's last timeout. With 22 seconds left. That one didn't go close enough to the boundary, and Mundo Meyer was there to wrap up Mersch in bounds.
Speaking of the boundary, yes, they can still utilize the boundary, the out-of-bounds area to get the football, completion first. With 22 seconds, they could probably buy at least 3 plays, maybe 4, depending on the duration of the clock, but they only have 2 plays left as far as this series. First things first, you might want to buy yourself an extra play by just getting the first down.
Which will also stop the clock. 3rd and 5 on the 11. No timeouts left for Montini. An 8-point Joliet Catholic lead.
Broncos 4 out of 7 on 3rd down. None of them more important than this one.
Coach Jaworski played on 2 state title teams. 11 years as an assistant. And 4 years as defensive coach. Pitching coach on their 2013 baseball state championship team. Brazil throws flag. Mersch went down and draws the flag.
Boy, how much fun is this football game? And now we got a chance for 3 more plays.
Holding. Defense. Number 45.
Defensive holding. See, Mersch was already going to the ground there.
Referee Chris Head gives us that call. Former head coach, Westinghouse High School, played in the Chicago Public League. Now one of the best officials in the city. And they got 2 or 3 bullets left.
First and goal at the 6. 19 seconds left. Making sure that ball doesn't blow away again. That's been one of the jobs of the officials all day today with this win. Brazil surveys, scrambles, and out of bounds. Stops the clock with 14 seconds left. Didn't like the way that one was going.
Great presence of mind to get out of bounds, so he didn't try to make a play. He tried to save another play by going out of bounds. If he would have tried to lean forward, get to the end zone, it would have been of no avail. There was 2 would-be tacklers there, and the clock may have actually run out. Good play in the mind of the young sophomore Brazil.
Nice job by Chavez, too, to pull up and make sure he didn't hit him out of bounds. 11th play of the drive. Brazil throwing, incomplete at the goal line. Murph, the intended target. He's been the intended target on this entire drive.
The go-to guy. He's locked in on one receiver there. It's Murph. Pretty good coverage right at the goal line. Everybody on their feet. It's a Memorial Stadium.
3rd and goal. Get a touchdown and the conversion. Brazil throwing over the middle. That is incomplete. 4 seconds left. Well, here comes your state title game.
Yeah, this will be the last play unless it's a 2-point conversion in overtime. It's going to run out on this one.
4th and 7. 4th and goal. We've got both coaches. Bukowski walking, can't look. Jaworski headset off. Bukowski pacing. He's walked a few miles on that sideline today. 4th and 7. Brazil wrapped up, flings it, intercepted for the 14th time in IHSA. Joliet Catholic is your state championship. Their first since 2007. From 1-8 2 years ago to state champions in 2018.
1-8, 3-6, title town to 4-4. To win in their last 5 in a row, to bring home a title in an instant classic. 10 a.m. in Champaign, Illinois. A great football game we just witnessed.
Bruscinelli on the sideline as the coaches get ready to shake hands. Let's take a look at that last play. They got into the backfield quickly on Brazil. Briscoe. And then it's Gorski with the championship sealing interception.
Briscoe just a big time hit, and his coach going to celebrate with him. Coach Jaworski joins that other legend of coaches that have won titles for Joliet Catholic Academy. Gordy Gillespie, Jim Boyder, Bob Stone, Dan Sharp, and now Jake Jaworski.
2 as a player, now 1 as a head coach. Joliet Catholic winning the title for the 14th time. The teams have met 3 times in a state title game. Montini won the first 2. In fact, they beat the Hilltoppers in the playoffs 5 times from 09 to 14. But that young man, Kenan Haley, came back in, and the Hilltoppers are the 5A state champions. Gatorade dump time.
Feeling good.
He was ready for it. They got him. A lot of fun for Coach Jaworski, his first state title as a head coach, and Edgy Tim down on the field. Got a couple running backs who had pretty good days.
Yeah, had a couple of Joliet Catholic kids here and had a nice day. We're going to start with this guy, Kenan Haley. Started off great, running well. You get a little problem here with your foot. You miss. First of all, how in the world were you able to get back in this ballgame?
just halftime, a lot of my teammates were encouraging me. Just the bond, the love we have in this team is just unbelievable. I couldn't just sit out the state game. That's not an option. So I had to come out. The trainer Saul helped me so much. He wrapped my ankle, he wrapped everything, made sure I was all right, and I got back in the game.
And then we got this guy over here who kind of picked up the slack a little bit from this guy, Isiah. I mean, did you ever fathom you'd have a ton of carry in a state title game and help lead this team to a championship?
Honestly, I just do my job, whatever Coach Shaw is asking me, whether it's to get the gritty 5 yards on a first down or, to break away and get a score. Kenan's a hell of a player. Me and him were best friends, and it was tough not having him out there at first, but, we just dig deeper. A lot of younger guys stepped up, defense stepped up, and, we just all kept our head in it. Kept getting encouragement, and we just stay positive.
You're not going anywhere until you mention your offensive line.
Yeah, offensive line, oh my God, they did unbelievable today. They are getting down to the backers, hitting them hard, being physical, especially they all play both ways. That's fantastic. We're able to stay in shape and just keep going and going. Hats off to them all season, hats off to our defense, hats off to the young guys that stepped up. This is an unbelievable feeling. I'll never forget it. It's the best day of my life.
And congratulations. Guys, we'll send it back up to you.
Thanks, Edgy. A couple of young men with big days. Kenan Haley and Isiah getting the job done. They combined for 5 touchdowns, and the Hilltoppers ready to pick up some hardware for the 14th time in school history.
Just an incredible football game. It was from the get-go. From 10:07 until now, we were entertained. Play by play, drive by drive, touchdown by touchdown, hit by hit. You keep going. This was one to be have a memory forever for all of these people that were here at Memorial Stadium.
There's something about these two programs when they meet up. We've had one decided on a 2-point conversion with 30 seconds to go. We had another that rewrote the record books and was a close game until the fourth quarter. And then today with JCA coming from behind and that pass falling into the hands of a JCA defender, Andrew Gorski, on the last play of the game.
Well, there is no doubt both of these teams are championship caliber teams. And you thought it was going to come down to the last play. There were so many individual plays in this game, you can't pick out the biggest. But the last one was a fun one to watch if you're a JCA fan. Briscoe pressure on the quarterback, the interception, and the ensuing celebration.
I think it just hit Coach Jaworski, too, when he got that medal put around his neck. What he had accomplished after having won a couple as a player, 11-year assistant coach, 4th as the defensive coordinator. Mentioned he's the pitching coach on the baseball team. They were the 2013 state champions as well. But you can see the emotions all over the face there of Coach Jaworski. And title number 14, the premier program in the state, winning the first in 1975. It's been 11 years, and now they've got number 14.
And they had to fight tooth and nail to get it done as the hoist is made. Coach Jaworski lifts it up, and it's going to be passed around for next few weeks in Joliet Catholic.
Speaking of Coach Jaworski, let's hear from him. Edgy, take it away.
Hey, Coach Jaws. Hang on, guys. I'm going to get up in here 1 second. You were 4-4 and down at Niles Notre Dame. First half. Second half, you come back. You haven't lost since. What is it about this group and about this group of Hilltoppers this year that got them to the state title and to come away with a win?
We might have been 4-4, but these guys believed. They have a heart of a champion, and when you got the heart of a champion, in this senior group, it's hard to beat the heart of a champion.
What does this mean, certainly to the school? What does this mean to you personally, Jaws?
It's really special, but at the end of the day, it's special because of this place. And, Joliet Catholic, is... Man, it's meant a lot to me, the program, the school, and, personally it's awesome, but it's more about the kids being able to experience this. I was fortunate enough to experience it a few times, and you want all your players to be able to feel what it's like right now.
It wasn't a dull ending.
It was not, and nor would you expect it to be. We didn't talk about the past all week. You never brought it up, because we thought this is their time. They had never played Montini, so we didn't talk about the past. And, just talking about the coaches coming out of halftime, we didn't say it to the kids, but every game we had lost to them, we were leading in the third quarter. So we just felt, hey, we'd come out, get a good drive in, let's turn the tide. And sure enough, we did.
You got it done, Josh. Congratulations. Guys, back up top to you.
Thanks, Edgy Tim. 08 IC Catholic, 09 Montini, and 18 Joliet Catholic, the teams to win state championships with 4 losses. You see Coach Jaworski celebrating there with friends and family. Mark, thoughts on tonight's game?
Well, I think basically they ran to a state championship game. And they ran behind 2 incredible performances by 2 running backs and an offensive line that was just magnificent here today, opening seams for a punishing ground attack.
We knew the state title was headed back up 57, and it's going to Joliet. The Hilltoppers win another title, 461 rushing yards for Joliet Catholic. Kenan Haley getting a couple of touchdowns. You'll see coming up next, our IHSA Greatest Games, state championship number 11 for Joliet Catholic back in 2001 as they beat Morris in the Class 5A championship. And then we'll be back with Cary Grove and Crete Monique in another rematch. That one from 2012. 6A will follow Joliet Catholic state champions.